Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station KCAA, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Tiki Live, Amazon Music, iTunes, I did that one already, Rumble, Tiki Live, and more. Why so many places? Because I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness, because I'm on a happy 88 mission, 88 million people more happy in the next 8 years. So I bring you topics and guests. Again, I've been playing her on social because I'm so impressed by Florence LaRue, the only original cast member, musical member of the 6-time Grammy, Hollywood Walk of Fame, Grammy Music Hall of Fame, Florence LaRue. She's a powerhouse. 81, got to interview her last week. If you missed it, go to my YouTube channel that houses all of my past 922. I got it wrong this morning. I thought it was 22 today. It's 923 show podcasts. And I also have special series just for you. And today, Thursdays are fun days for me because you just never know what I'm going to say. And I get to be a little naughty because we're rolling into the weekend and preparing myself for Fridays, which is tempting conversations. So I'm a little more tame during the week. And then I bring my co-host Sam Works on with me to help me be naughty. Help me talk about relationships and romance and all kinds of scandalous things that may or may not be personal. So today I'm going to be talking about a topic that Sam's mom actually picked. It was interesting. I usually text because I do a show every single day. And thanks to my boss, Fred Lundgren, who asked me during COVID if I like to take over the morning show. And so I don't pick the topic, or I let my co-host pick the topic the day before. And so I texted what I thought said Sam, and it said Sam's mom. And I texted her and it said topic. And then like a beat goes by and she goes, I think you meant this for Sam, but I do have a topic that you might be interested in. So she gave it to me and hey, voila, I am easy to convince. And Sam goes, that's a great topic. But before that, please welcome back to my show, my Thursday co-host for Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and
Sam Works.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm a little sick, so I feel sick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I hope you didn't catch anything at the Saban.
I don't know where I caught it, to be honest, but I got it.
Okay. Did you test? I tested because I didn't wear a mask, but I texted because I was going to see my mom and dad, and I was negative. So anyways, and we didn't French kiss or anything, so we're good. Okay. So breakfast with Dr. Marissa and Sam Works. Let's start with 8 things that we are specifically grateful for. I just gave the first one, not getting COVID at the Saban. Not that it's the Saban's fault at all, but, careful is good. At the same time, balancing that with not being paranoid. So I'm grateful that I have still not gotten COVID. So that's my first gratitude.
Okay. I'm grateful that you were able to take me and my family to the Saban Theater. I actually enjoy it. I like the opening with the like high school band and stuff. They're pretty good. And it's just kind of like a little getaway from, reality and stuff. So it brings me a little more joy in my life. So thank you.
You're welcome. My blessing. And it's thanks to my show sponsor, one of my fabulous show sponsors, where music meets the soul.com. Dana, thank you so much for the gift of my Asian Oprah giveaway tickets. And there were a lot of them this time, so I could invite some of my peeps. So that is, I'm grateful for that. That's my second gratitude for my show sponsor.
I'm grateful that I'm getting better. Like, I'm not as sick as I was Monday or Tuesday. Although this is the longest I've been sick, so we'll see how long it lasts. But I'm getting better, so that's okay.
Okay, cool. I'm grateful that I rolled out and went straight to the gym, did 41 minutes on the bike this morning. So that felt good. And I'm still my last gratitude. What?
You don't go swimming anymore? You don't swim?
They turned the heater off of the pool, which I'm not thrilled about, and they were not very sympathetic. So, but the response was, well, summer's coming soon, and or because I use it every other day, so I'm just doing the bike and toning every other day. So I'm not a polar bear yet. I still enjoy a little bit of the heat, but I'll get back in.
All right. I am grateful for spring. I think spring and fall are my two favorite seasons of the year. So
I agree. Well, that's it for the top of the bun. Sorry, I'm having my real breakfast. The bottom of the bun is what you appreciate about yourself. Is this a banana, or are you just happy to see me? Do you know that one? Are you too young for that? Okay, hold her down. The bottom of the bun is what do you like about yourself? And the reason why I make you do this in the morning is because a lot of us, if you don't like who you are, you have a tendency to go around looking for likes, literally. And it just gets you in trouble because people are fickle, and 1 minute they'll like you and the next minute they'll hate you. So you gotta develop that core of yourself that actually approves of yourself. And that, I believe, is the bedrock of mental health and self-care. So that's why I do it. So I appreciate that I am consistent in my messaging about hope and happiness.
I appreciate that I appreciate myself. I know that's weird to say, but you do have to take time and really thank yourself for what you're doing and what you're really shooting for in life. So that's a double entendre right there, if I say so myself.
Ooh, very nice. Very nice. I appreciate that I am a good communicator.
Okay, that's pretty good. I appreciate that I'm not lost in the world. A lot of people, they've been distracted or they've done stuff to, shut their eyes, in a sense, metaphorically speaking, and not see what they want to be or what they want to do. So I'm glad I still have my head screwed on right.
I appreciate that I know how to pick good people to surround myself with. And I'll say the compliment is you is one of those people. And I love the way that I'll take credit that you use good words, like big words that are very illustrative. And I love that. I like that. I mean, I'll take the credit, even though I'm not saying you're not giving it to me, but I think that the affiliation, you haven't gone down by being with me. You've gone up. I believe. Up, not down there, but up as in unlimited possibilities.
You know,
Oh
I
boy.
I would have
Okay.
I would have to agree, because this show really makes me have to think and reflect and really, you know, have my own opinion. Because a lot of times, people just say stuff and I go with the flow and all that. But having this show, it's like, okay, now you're thinking and speaking for yourself and to others. So it really brings out my own personality, which is kind of cool. I like it.
Awesome. And that's
Um,
it for breakfast with Dr. Marissa. And
Sam Works.
so I promise if you do this for 30 consecutive days, you will sandwich your day in the best possible way. So do it. Oh, all right. Topic. So should I read it? Oh, how did I put it in the promo? So is it okay for your spouse to have a best friend of the opposite sex? Question mark. Is it harmless or is it tempting fate? That's the topic of today. And that's courtesy of Sam's mom. And I know I have a friend who has a lot to say on this topic, but I will let you get your first reaction. What was your first reaction when you saw that?
My first reaction and my first response was your spouse should be your best friend. Um, and I know every situation is different and it's not black and white, but for the most part, 88% of the time, I don't think that your spouse should have a best friend that's the opposite sex. Um, and this is like on my side, right? I
Why?
don't think
Okay.
why.
Yeah, why?
Um, if I was with someone and their best friend is another guy, right? 9 times out of 10, that guy is there until I drop the ball, right? Until she's wanting to go to him or whatever the case may be, right? I've seen too many videos of, people having these conversations and then girls are like, no, no, my best friend, like, he would never, da 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 da. And then they're always like, all right, call him, like, find out. And then they'd always call their best friend and they were like, how come we never, whoop de whoop? And then at the end of the day, they were just waiting. They're waiting for that time for the girl to go to them and release tension or help them and support them. But really, I mean, guys are animals, and like we want, you know what I mean? Like if your best friend is a woman, there's two things, right? Like they can be your best friend, but a lot of times you'd be attracted to them, right? Attracted by their personality and attracted by their looks. So then that kind of just adds the equation of, wanting to have sex with them. You know what I mean? And so I don't think it's appropriate for your spouse to have a best friend that's the opposite sex. Your thoughts?
And let's just clarify too. It doesn't have to be the opposite sex. If you have same-sex partners, what we're saying is that also applies there. It can be the same sex if it's a partnership. So let's include everyone. And
Right.
on one end, right? Sure, there's nothing wrong. Let's say you grow up with someone,
Yeah.
they're your best friend from high school and then college, and then they're with you and they're just absolutely your rock and all of that. And I don't think you're saying that there's something wrong with that. because
No.
that they're your friends. At the same time, there is, I mean, if you look at a friendship like that, and who are you going to go to complain about when things aren't going that well in your intimate relationship, right? You're going to go to that person. So that person is then your place of venting, your place of blah, blah, blah. And if they love you, right, because you've grown up with them, they're going to be empathetic and they're going to be, how dare they? And do all the things that a best friend does. And then what
Yeah.
happens, I've seen, is that best friend now, if they, feelings can develop over time. Let's say their own relationship sucks or there's problems, and then there's a back and forth. And then it's not a natural. Look at all of the relationships at work that happen. You spend more time at work than you do at home, and if things in the home life are not that great, you are tempting, right? You're
Yeah.
putting yourself in a position that it would be natural to have that relationship, because when you spend time or reveal emotionally you're who you are exactly as you are, and you're comfortable in that, and that person accepts you for that, and let's say your significant other isn't like that, then of course you're going to develop feelings. It's almost like, oh, I can't believe I fell in love. It's like, well, of course you can believe you fell in love. You spend this much time with each other and you talk about this many things with each other. I'd be surprised if you didn't. So it's really the choices you make, right?
Hmm.
How much do you value your relationship with your person, right? Do
Yeah.
you want, I'm not saying that you dump them, but maybe not a BFF. So I agree with you, Sam. I do believe that it's important for your person not to complete you, but you choose to be with them. Therefore, you choose to go to them as well
Yeah.
to work things out.
Yeah. I definitely think, and you know this, I always talk about it, like communication is huge, right? So if you're not communicating with your spouse and you're going to somewhere else, like your best friend is always going to have your back, right? So they're just supplementing and fortifying your views of your spouse. Like if you guys been arguing the whole time, your best friend's not going to be like, "No, he's actually right. You know, you're wrong." No, he's going to help you feel better by making the other guy look bad, right? And then what was the other one? I had another one in mind, but it does happen. But you're right though. Like a best friend, you know, from the very beginning, like that's something that some people just have to like, you know, understand and deal with. But you are choosing to be with someone, so therefore you have to be with them and not with your best friend, right? Because I think the outside social group beyond just you and your spouse can really manipulate your own decisions, you know? And at the end of the day, it's very tempting to, because you always want better, right, in life. So if you're having a really tough time with your spouse and then your best friend's always supporting you, always making you feel better, then you start to change routes. You start to go a different route because you want to feel better. You want a better life. So, like, it's not even a conscious thing, it's more subconscious. You're drawn to comfortability, right? So if your best friend comforts you all the time, that's where you're going to end up being with.
Yeah, and that is exactly to my point of, people are surprised, and at the same time it's like, why are you surprised? So I have a friend who she was the breadwinner. Okay, so she worked and her husband stayed home and took care of the kids. And so it was like that stay at home dad thing when it first started, when there weren't a lot of stay at home dads. And in the preschool, um, like started in September. So like around October, end of October, she got a call from two of the moms who said, just want to let you know that your husband is spending a lot of time with another preschool mom who's also married. And we just want to let you know. And after that call, well, she said, "Thank you for letting me know, but oh my, this is like there we go out a lot as the two couples, so it's not a big deal. He's the stay-at-home, and they're just friends, and nothing to worry about. But thanks for letting me know." So that's what she said.
Uh-huh.
And then in December, her daughter, who was 5, came home and said, "Mom, why does Dad spend so much blank? And why does Dad laugh so much with blank? And why does Dad um, uh, talk more with blank than you?" So kids, see everything. And so my friend didn't know what to say, but at that point knew that something had to be done, because when your child brings
Yeah.
this up, it's an issue. So she did go to her husband and say, "What's up?" And "Oh, we're just friends." And then she found out there was actually 3 of them, so 2 other moms and him, and they called themselves the Triangle. And
Uh-oh.
they would hang out and go out, and it was just like a very close knit little group. And 2 months later, I believe it was in January, the 3 couples went out for um, dinner. And at the end, they all had the same babysitter at that person's house. And at the end of the meal, the husband said, "I don't want to wake the kids up. I'm going to go and sleep over at a person's house overnight."
No.
And that person's husband was not there. Actually, it wasn't 3 couples. It was 3 couples minus her husband, who was out selling his airplane somewhere. And so my friend was like, "Okay, you do what you got to do." But she was told that she was drunk and said, "No problem." Okay. So my friend's not stupid, but she was definitely in shock. And so she ended up going back home, didn't know whether to pack her bags, his bags, and then got a call in the morning. "Come on over." Said person is making breakfast. And so she went over, and she was like, still sort of in shock. And we lost Sam. Sam's in shock. Oh, there you are. And then on the way back in the car, she said, "So what is she going to tell her husband about last night?" And he said, "Oh, that I didn't stay over." And and then my friend's like, "So he gets a lie, and I have to sit with the truth." And my friend was, at that moment realized that that her marriage, which, to her responsibility, I mean, she stayed way too long. She'd been trying to leave multiple times, but it was almost, she was happy that this happened, because it was the final straw that got her to leave. So this is one of those cases where the BFF was of the opposite sex. And even though both of them said there was no physical cheating, emotional cheating and intimacy and connection is, in my book, that is, it's the same thing. You don't have to do the deed, right, to have that kind of connection. So that's my friend's experience, a very personal experience that she's I'm very intimately aware of her situation. So yeah, so that's probably why I am my BS, my belief system around this is, why put yourself, if you care about someone, why put yourself in that situation where that could happen? The likelihood that it could happen is very high. It's not one of those, well, maybe it will. I wouldn't say it's 50-50. I would say it's 75, 80% possible that would happen. And like, what's the upside? The upside of having someone as your best friend of the opposite sex, there's way more downside, because I'm sure, unless that your significant other is super confident in themselves, and even if they are confident in themselves, it is, I believe, I would see it as a sign of respect. But that's my opinion. What do you think? You're muted, babe. You're muted. Uh-oh. Okay, he's coming back. So that is the topic. If you've just tuned in, this is Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and Sam Works. He's coming back. And we're talking about, should your BFF be of the opposite sex? And you are tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, NBC News Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. All right, Sam, reaction?
I don't know or ever heard of a story where having a best friend on the opposite sex like worked out. Like, I really don't think it's in anyone's best interest, unless, again, there are those circumstances where they've been friends forever. But that doesn't mean like you go to them for fun or for help in that sense, right? If you are with someone, then you're taking that dedication and, like you said, that respect to work with that person. Now, if that person doesn't work out, in terms of, if you have to go to somebody else, then be with somebody else, like that's kind of like my way of putting it, because the person you choose to be with is the person that is going to help you through everything in life, or should help you through everything in life, right? So I think it's important that you choose the right spouse, and maybe you choose your best friend, because then you don't have a best friend to go to, you go to them, right? I guess that what solves it. But I think one of the things that we should discuss, what are you bringing up?
I put in, what percentage of couples who have best friends of the opposite sex have cheated? I think that's what I put. Oh, end up cheating with them. University of Colorado Boulder, extramarital. This is 2018.
Sure. I gotta blow my nose. I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay. It says just over half, 53.5% of those reporting extramarital sex said they were unfaithful with someone they knew well, such as a close friend. About a third of the affairs are with someone who's somewhat well known, such as a neighbor, coworker, or long-term acquaintance. About 29.4%. The rest of the affairs were casual. So the majority, right, are ones that they were familiar with. So they're supporting what my BS belief system is that I said earlier. Let's see. Do people with Are you okay? Do
Yeah,
people
I'm dying.
you have same doesn't make it no. Okay, micro cheating sounds innocent. That's
Okay,
an
you want to know
I don't
something about that
bothered me.
statistic?
Yeah.
Is you gotta take account that those are the people that are telling the truth, right? So you gotta up that percentage to the people who are lying, saying that they didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you know that there's a term called micro cheating?
I think that's some
I've
BS,
never
but
heard of
okay.
that.
What is
Well,
micro
I don't
cheating?
know. You said dad bod. Just because let's see. This one says this is in Psychology Today. Let's see. It doesn't. For 64% of men and 44% of women reported that their cross-sex friends became their sexual partners.
There you go.
That's a high percentage.
Yeah.
However, more interact in workplace, it's inevitable that people of the opposite sex will find common interest and connection with one another, likely to evolve into friendship. I love it when research agrees with my BS. So let me go back because I saw something else in here. What is okay? Micro cheating. What the heck is micro cheating? Okay, I love learning new things. Let's see. Do you have a friend of the opposite that you regularly send memes or share personal jokes with? Do you tag each other regularly on social media? Do you dress a little nicer when you know you're going to see them? Great. But if you're not careful, you might be
Mhm.
heading down the slippery slope of micro cheating that could lead to serious marriage problems. Also known as emotional cheating, micro cheating falls under the umbrella of emotional infidelity. There's my point, and refers to small, seemingly insignificant things that a person can do while not explicitly unfaithful. The donut can carry with them the hint of fidelity. No, having a friendship with a person of the opposite sex or the same sex for non hetero couples doesn't make you a cheater, micro, or otherwise. However, if certain behaviors are left unchecked, there's a chance they could snowball into something more. And at the very least, they could put your relationship in jeopardy. Uh-huh. So there you go. Learn something new, right?
So, what are some signs that people should be aware of if that there might be something going on beyond their relationship, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
like how that one gave the example of like dressing nicer or like cleaning yourself up before you go
Mm-hmm.
see a certain someone. Another
Mm-hmm.
sign is if your spouse, like if you've been with them for like years and they just started getting into shape again, you know, like that's another sign. Um, and then also, the lack of communication, like if they're speaking their problems to somebody else, or going out more. I mean, there's a lot of signs out there that people should be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just patterns. Because if you really know your spouse, then you know something's up. You know.
Yeah. I just saw this because we had talked about narcissism too.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just seeing the cross section of those two topics that we were talking about and why narcissists cheat, variety of reasons, psychodynamic process, somatic narcissist resorts. What the heck is that? That's something else new. Let's see. What is this? Magnificence. Okay, this is way too much. I'm gonna go back to the other one because let's see, which one are you seeing now? Do you see the enabled cheating one or no? Let's see what.
The
Oh yeah, you're on
psychodynamic
that. Okay,
process.
it did follow me. Yeah, it did follow me. Okay, narcissists are easily bored. They think they're important above the law. Okay, so I was just anyways. I just thought that was an interesting intersection. So it looks like the data does support what I was saying, right? That you're putting
Right.
yourself into, that slippery slope, literally. And yeah.
What
So
what would be some reasons why people would go and like have a best friend that is like the opposite sex?
well, I mean, the ones that are, you grow up with them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that to me is a realistic situation. You grow up with people who you went to preschool with, high school with, et cetera, et cetera. There's movies about stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So where you are, and then they end up in the movie.
Right.
They're the
Always.
one,
Always.
right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. I don't even think there is one. So that's one reason. The
I.
other one is the work situation is really prevalent, and that one,
Mm.
you know why? I did a second year research project in grad school on office romance, and that's
Oh.
why yeah. So at that time, which was a long time ago, and I'm ageless, so I'm not going to say how long ago that was. There were the statistic at that time were 85% of office romances led to someone getting fired. 85%,
Ah.
because it's not sustainable. It just makes everything, nuts. Now, I one of my clients right now met his wife, and it's fabulous and it works well and all of that. But in general, when two people hook up at work, it a lot of times it's extramarital, and again, it's based on that same principle. You spend a lot of time, you talk about stuff, you're there to support each other. You frustrated, who do you go to? You talk to them. They're supportive. You go out for drinks after. You end up putting alcohol in the system, and then who knows what's going to happen, because you're not thinking with the right head. So it's like, why are you surprised that happens, right? Not you,
Mm-hmm.
not you. But hey, I almost forgot to take a break. So and we're almost done. I wanted to take a quick commercial break today, because I do have a show sponsor that I want to share with you. So if you've been tuned in, this is Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and
Sam Works.
special series that we do every Thursday. Thanks for joining us. I see the eyeballs. If you have any questions or comments about this topic, please do put it in the chat, and I will put it up on the screen right after we take a quick break to thank the sponsors that support this show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Dr. Marissa here. You know me as the Asian Oprah and the host producer of your daily morning 8 a.m. show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa every weekday morning on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. And I have a question for you. Did you know that collagen accounts for 30% of your body's protein? It provides structure, support, and strength to your skin, muscles, bone, and connective tissues. It's not a fat or pill. It's a scientifically developed formula easily added to your diet, combining 5 types of collagen, the moisturizing power of hyaluronic acid, and biotin. Collagen relieves joint inflammation while stimulating growth and repair of cartilage tissue. In short, Revive helps heal your body from the inside out. Get ready to feel alive and revived with Brightcore at www.tryrevivenow.com. Why? Because you deserve to love your life.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News Radio KCAA, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, and My Home Central with 923 shows, 572 consecutive weeks. But who's counting? And you will get not just the past shows, but my red carpet playlist has interviews with people like Halle Berry, The Temptations backstage, and John Travolta, who gave me not one, but 2 hugs. So you can free subscribe on my YouTube channel to get those so you can watch and listen to my shows. Today is Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and
Sam Works.
My special Thursday series where we talk about just about everything. And we're talking about setting yourself up to cheat if you have a best friend of the opposite or same-sex partner, to include all kinds of partnerships. And I just learned about micro cheating. Never heard of that before. And there was another one, but I can only take one new thing per show, I think. But we've been talking about that situation that we're all we've been in that situation or we know somebody that's been in that situation. And certainly my friend who had that experience is definitely one who will say, no bueno. If you want a relationship with me, your best friend, and in that odd situation, and it has happened, I know for a fact, I had a best friend, Michael, who's now in heaven. He died. I went to grad school with him, and his 2 of his best friends were 2 couples, non-same-sex partners, would go on vacation together, would go do family vacations together, and the wives ended up changing teams and getting together.
No kidding.
No kidding. So it's not just opposite sex, it is same sex as well. Could be in there. And I think it totally speaks to your point, Sam, that if you have issues in your relationship, get a tissue for the issue and work it out with communication.
I like that. Tissue with the issue. The most bullshit-talky excuse I've heard from someone, you like how I use your term?
Yes, thank you.
She told me the reason why she goes to this guy for her problems when she's dating another guy is to get another guy's perspective, right? Because only a woman can understand a woman, and men, I don't know, I guess women understand men in a certain degree, but she was like, I don't get why he's like this. So she went to another guy to hopefully understand, right? Because if you have bad communication with your spouse, you're not going to get any understanding. So she would go to this other guy. She's like, why is he doing this? Or why is he always mad at me for this reason, And that helps to a degree, but that's not the person who you should be, going to, right? And so when she told me that,
I'm actually going to disagree 33% with you, because I do believe, and that answers your question of why would someone do that? And I would say that is actually a good reason. It's not a great reason, okay, but it is it does show that people are aware that opposite sexes do not respond in the same way to certain things. And I know that, one, because I did go to a lot of Dr. Pat Allen's seminars, and if you want to get a good laugh, she has been on my show like 4 or 5 times, and she's very scientifically based on the differences between men and women. And she used to come on every Valentine's, and I got tired of her like berating me because I don't follow her advice. But there's a new, I'm glad you raised that, because I have confirmation, woohoo, of my repeat guest that is going to come back. His name is Dr. John Gray. Now, I don't know if you recognize that name. He's been on my show twice before, but he is the author of the #1 best-selling, mega bestseller book from the 90s. And that book is called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Now you're going to love that show. He's coming back on. We have a date, May 3rd. So I just talked to his fabulous assistant who does remember me, and they're big fans of the show. So I can't wait to have him on. He, again, is a guy who will give you a guy's perspective based on research and science and hormones and all of that. And I'll give you the funniest example. He said to me, I met him, on that same stage that I speak on in San Diego, the Secret Knock. And he was the highlight speaker this time. And he said that the reason why I'm single is because I lead with my testosterone, and that if I really want to attract a man, I have to give to my estrogen. Shut up, Sam. That I have to, and the funniest thing, he goes, and this was not on stage. We were having a conversation outside because he remembered me. So that was cool. And he said, men who gather business cards, when you're high testosterone, you don't follow up. You have a pocket full of, you get people's business cards and then you don't do anything with them. And I'm like, oh man, that's so busted. That's so me. In fact, I lost his card. I mean, this was like over a month ago when I saw him again, and he said, I'd love to come on the show. And he gave me all the secret passwords to use with his assistant, and I lost the card. So I was like, oh my gosh, I really am way over testosterone. And no wonder I'm still single. And even though I have made the decision, okay, I want to be, in a relationship, it ain't going to happen until I can monitor my testosterone. So yes, going back to your thing, I do believe that it is helpful for women, especially when we don't understand why a guy would not do this, or why doesn't he text me back, or why does he leave the toilet seat up, or why does he, all those things that a male perspective could probably give you helpful advice. Like, it has nothing to do with you. It's not personal. That's just what we do. We're single focused. We're all the research. But I would rather you get the research from my guests than from your guy friend, because once you make that connection with that guy friend and you keep going to them for that advice or understanding, you're putting them in a role where you're making them feel good because they're the expert, and that also begins to ignite the attraction ball of fire. So literally. So get it from my guest. May 3rd, Dr. John Gray is coming. He's going to help you understand why you're still single or why you have issues in your relationship, because he's got a new book out called Beyond Mars and Venus.
Is May 3rd on a Thursday?
No, I maybe it's not May 3rd. Hold on. I would never do that to you. Let's
What? I would
see.
want him to be on a Thursday.
Oh, yeah, well, no. We can
Okay.
talk about it. We can talk about it on that Thursday. These details to the what did I say? May 3rd. Oh my gosh, is May 3rd? Did I screw up? April, May 3rd. It's Wednesday. Ha. Okay. So you're gonna have to listen in and we'll talk about that on Thursday. All right. That'll be the topic
Cool. I like
because
it.
there's a lot of good stuff. Are we at it? Oh no, we still got time. So final word.
I say we got to wait until May 3rd to find out what is real. I'm super excited for what's his name, Dr. Gray.
Dr. John Gray, and I'm sure I can get him to do an Asian Oprah giveaway book. So we should have a big supportive audience that day. Honestly, he's 71 and he has sex. He has a very active sex life, and he coaches people, and he has a whole host of male clients who have very active sex life. So all the preconceived notions of no fire in the basement after a certain age, they're all not true, because he really he was talking about the iron penis and things on stage. It was just hilarious. So get ready, hold on to your pants, literally, because this is
I,
going to be one heck of an interview.
I wonder what he was like before his, career. You know what I mean? Like, what if he was a player back then? So he has all this experience. Like, he was just a dog, Like, you never know.
He's been married like multiple times, let's just put it that way. But if you see him and meet him, he looks are deceiving, because he looks very mild mannered. I hope he doesn't hear this. Borderline nerdy, very calm,
He is a
mild
doctor.
mannered. I love him. Like, he's just so personable, but completely non-player looking, non-player acting.
Those are the best
But
ones,
he
though.
was married. Yeah, but he was married to Barbara DeAngelis. I don't know if you know her. She's also a huge best-selling author as well. So yeah, he was on like all the news channel. I mean, he's been interviewed by everybody. Big,
I like it.
everybody big. So I'm honored. Uh-oh, it's time. My final word is there's so many people you could choose to have as a best friend. And there really is so much potential downside that, for the sake of your relationship, even as a sign of respect, just don't do it. The opposite of the gospel of Nike. Just don't go there.
I like it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. All right. And we're out of time. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live from my living room here on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show with the special series on Thursday, Straight Talk. I hope you've enjoyed that Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa. And
Sam works.
it's all about balance, peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Now go and have the best day ever. See you tomorrow. Tempting Conversations with Alon Carter and Dr. Marissa.